now we can do quads. So let's test the whole thing. So we're going to bring up, so if we're testing left quads, we're bringing the right knee up. We're going to bring the left leg up like this, and I'm going to be reaching under the popliteal fossa and stabilizing his right knee. Now, basically I'm going to get in it like this, and what's important, the biggest thing for a quad is because it's such a strong muscle, you have 4 of them, right, that you have to get right over it. And you have to get your forearm right in the drive. And it's not straight down, it's in an arc. So go ahead and kick up. And that's the difference. But if I'm out here like this, go ahead and kick up. I can sit on that all day and it won't move. But right here, a little bit different. And he's trying about the same. So that's quads. Now we can further break up quads into vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, and we can go further in another DVDs, but for this one we'll just do this one. So do we do the same setup as just the quads as a group test, but we rotate the leg out to shorten the fibers and kick up. And it's pretty much the same test, only you just shorten fibers. This is lateral, medialis. I always get mixed up. So when you do medialis, you're bringing the leg out laterally. So, and you just have to remember opposite. Okay? So if we do vastus lateralis, we bring the leg in medially. Stabilize here. Okay. And then that's the divisions. Okay. So the next one we can do is, let's do Psoas. So Psoas, big trunk flexor, or I guess that'd be a closed chain trunk flexor, but open chain hip flexor. And so what you do is this one, you want to stabilize below the ASIS. Alright, so the first thing we do is we externally rotate his leg. We'll bring it up 30 degrees and about out 30 degrees. And the vector is going to be basically down and in, kind of like this. Okay? So we bring it up here. I'm going to stabilize at here, because if his pelvis rolls like this, kick up, he'll be able to recruit. So I need to block his pelvis from recruiting and then still get this. So go ahead and press up into me, here. And that's the test for Soleus. And that's going to be obviously the left Soleus. Okay, good. Next muscle we're going to be doing is Sartorius. This is probably one of the top 5 hardest muscles to test consistently well. It's the way I always remembered it in my undergrad anatomy teacher. It's the Indian style muscle. So it flexes, it internally rotates, and it flexes at the knee, so it does all the things required to do, you know, the Indian style. So first thing you want to do to remember to set it up the right way is you basically, if I'm testing the left Sartorius, you can bring their leg up and cross it over just above the knee, and then basically drag it out like that. Now the patient's almost in a little mini Indian style posture. So I'm going to get down like this one. I'm going to stabilize basically right under the heel, and I'm going to internally rotate the tibia. I'm going to stabilize on the femur or the quad, and I'm going to be doing this little dance right here. Okay, sound effects not needed. Anyways, so I'm basically going to have him kick his butt, and I'm going to get my pelvis or my hips into this, and I'm going to be extending through like that. So go ahead and kick your butt. Okay, and so it's not like dragging out like this because you'll miss it. So you kind of bring it up a little bit like this as you're testing it. So there's simply a dance move, and you can have one of us help you if you can't figure it out still after that. Okay, the next one we can do is Gracilis. Gracilis, what you want to do is basically adduct the leg, internally rotate. This is for the left Gracilis. I'm going to stabilize on the opposite leg, grab the ankle, or the shin, whatever you want to call it, and then I'm going to abduct the leg, and I'm pulling out as the Gracilis tries to engage and adduct. So I'll basically say, Conrad, can you pull your leg in? And then it's out in an arc like this. It's not straight out, it's in an arc. Everything's in an arc, in case you didn't hear. Okay. Alright. So one of the last muscles around the hips and pelvis area is the tensor fascia lata, the Starbucks muscle. Now, What we're going to do with this one, just keep going. Yeah? Good? Okay. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to go up, we're going to abduct, and slightly internally rotate. And my vector is going to be like here. Okay? So I'm going to have him basically do this motion, so press up and down here, Connor. And my testing is down and in, and once again it's always in an arc. So that's for the left one. Just for purposes, this is the right one, and that's TFL. Now, let's now move from the hips. We've covered pretty much everything that's around this whole pelvic girdle. We've covered the neck, we've covered the upper torso, everything. So now we can move in from the knee down. And the first one we'll start with is Popliteus. Some people call it Popliteus. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to flex the knee up here. We're going to dorsiflex the ankle and internally rotate. Almost like you're setting up to shorten the tib anterior, but we're going to let the knee drop out. And here's the money, is you put your thumb right on the tibial tuberosity, and I'm going to be rotating his foot out just like so. So go ahead and press up and in with your foot. And I'm going down and out. And the important thing to do here, which I didn't actually do with this one, is to watch the tibial tuberosity. So press up and in. And so if this ankle stabilizes but the knee rotates or something like that, that's still a sign of a weak Popliteus. So that's Popliteus. Now we can move into the muscles around the tibia. Okay. So you can have the patient scoot back so you have the ankle on the end of the table. We'll test tib anterior first. So tib anterior, you dorsiflex first, dorsiflex and invert. Okay. You can already see he has a really nice tendon here. So basically I'm going to cup under the heel. I'm going to get my elbow and forearm in the line of drive, and this is going to be my testing vector. So press up and in, Connor. Bam. Just like that. And the big thing for this one too is to watch the leg rotation. So if he rotates out here and I go up and in and press, and I'll never get that. But by making sure that it's isolated, it's in the correct form, go ahead. Then you find it. Okay, cool. So now we'll do tib posterior. Tib posterior is another one that inserts onto the navicular. It's very important for flat feet. Okay, so this one, the action is plantar flex and invert. And you want to have the patient try to hold this position. If they're already starting to like cheat up and start dorsiflexing, you know that this muscle is having a hard time basically firing. So down and in, hold down and in, and there's my vector. So I'm stabilizing, kind of heel outside of the ankle, so it gives me that good leverage to basically go, okay? Now, we can do the fibularis muscles. So fibularis tertius, we're going to dorsiflex and evert. Okay, making sure that this stays in line, because it's easy to basically dorsiflex and evert and you wind up out here. So stay here. Here's the thing that you need to watch out for. See how his toes are already curling? You want to basically have the patient curl those down. And then you're going to say, press up and out here. And you're pressing down. And you see how my elbow and forearm are aligned? Because if I'm like this and I say up and out, I will have a lot harder time finding that. But when it's in a perfect vector like this, then you get it. And that's tertius, okay? A lot of lateral ankle sprains on that one. Okay, so down, plantar flex, and out, this is going to be the group test for longus and brevis. So this is how you test them together. So leg stays straight, patient presses down and out, and I press basically in. I basically invert the ankle. And notice that he curled his toes. If he cheats up again, that's another cheating mechanism for the short extensors to try to cheat in some way to stabilize. No good. You want to find true muscle testing. Okay, so now we have one more muscle, which is gastrocs. Now gastrocs we can test supine. And what we're going to do, Just flex the knee up here. I'm going to stabilize behind the back of the tibia, the distal tibia. And this is the important distinction. If the patient's foot is dorsiflexed, we are taking out gastroc, and we would only be testing hamstring from the supine position. But when we plantar flex this down, now we're engaging gastrocs. So this is gastrocs, the group test. I'm stabilizing at the knee joint, and go ahead and kick your butt. And that's the gastroc. So I'm kind of doing this motion, okay? And it's not straight up, it's like, okay? Now, we can further distinguish this one down into the medial and lateral heads of the gastroc, and it's very simple. All you do is just point the toes and do maybe a slightly internal rotation for the medial head. So go ahead and kick your butt. Bam, that's medial. Now lateral, rotate it out lateral. Simple enough. Okay, so flip over. So one of the other ones that we're going to test is Soleus, which you can actually test differently from gastrocs. And so the patient has to be prone to test Soleus. And what you do is you bring the leg at 90, plantar flex. I'm going to be making a web contact around the back of the calcaneus, just like that. I'm going to get my forearm and over it, because it's a big muscle, you have to heavy it up. And so I'm just going to be doing this motion, okay? I'm going to be trying to dorsiflex, and he's going to be resisting into plantar flexion, kick up, and that's it. Okay. Okay, so we got a couple muscles that we're going to test for the big toe. So the first one we're going to test is Extensor Hallucis Longus. Patient's going to basically extend. I'm going to grab the great toe just like this, and I'm doing this, and it's a vector like that. So extend here, and that's actually a weak one, and that's all it is. And these are just little things to pick up on. So now we can test the great toe flexors. So we'll test. So I'm going to stabilize right here. He's going to flex his big toe down like this, and I'm just going to press up and around. So go ahead and press down. And that's actually a weak flexor hallucis longus. Now, to do the brevis, we plantar flex, curl his toes down, and I'm going to keep his toes down here, and I'm going to resist. So resist flex down. And that is a weak flexor hallucis brevis. And that's how we do the great toe muscles.